Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to push down on the valve, and then while making sure, I'll rotate the engine to make sure that each one of these push rods sat in there correctly. And I just push down the valve with my thumb and slide the rocker arm over, or just slide that down in there and push it down like that. And I don't know if that's in or not, but if you're not sure, just rotate it to make sure all the valves move, both the valves move, and that way that you know that that valve sat down in between there where the I guess the push rod is, where the push rod sits down in there. So now what we got to do is we got to check valve clearances. So we'll look that up online and we'll see what we get for that. Now what I do is just take a screwdriver, stick it down the spark plug hole, shroud's in the way, bring the engine up to top dead center. Just be careful. Should actually hold it, but I'm trying to hold the camera to make sure you don't accidentally hit the screwdriver against the cylinder wall. Alright, and sorry about that. That should be approaching compression stroke right now. So right there. So line at the top, the piston the top dead center, so the screwdriver should come all the way out till it's at the top, and then both these valves should have their play on them. Now I'm gapping these both at 5 thousandths. So this one here, this is the intake valve. That one's good. And the exhaust valve, that one's got a little less on it. So this one's actually good too. So both these valves are actually were perfectly adjusted. I did not touch this knob. I just stretched the valves back down there and put the push rods back in. So actually both these valves, neither of them need to be readjusted. So that's good. Alright, so now it's just to get all the other stuff back on. It's also not a bad idea to put the spark plug in just loosely. You don't need to make it tight yet. Just remember that you keep it loose, because you may need to take it back off. But that'll keep from any dirt being accidentally dropped down inside there. You don't want that. That wouldn't be good. So now we're just going to reinstall things in reverse order. It'll be kind of much for me to get everything exactly reverse. But first I'm going to start by putting this on, and I'll show some things like the governors and stuff, because they need to get all readjusted and stuff. So, had these bolts went into the top here. These are all 10 millimeters in. And then there was this ground wire here. Oops. That went into here. And then which goes to here. So don't forget that. Now this is actually the first time I've done a governor on one of these actually no, I think I've done one before. But on one of these Intech models. And actually, from what I can see, this shaft here, if you keep the spring in the correct position where it originally was, this shaft here should be turned all the way counterclockwise. And well, honestly, I'm not even 100% sure, so we'll find out. If it starts up and screams, we'll have to shut it off right away. But other than that, pretty sure that should be correct. So we'll see. If not, I have to pull the gas tank off and stuff, and then adjust it the opposite way. So I never had one of these bases taken off, so I'm not really sure. You know, technically, if you don't have the bases taken off, you're never sure if the governor's on that side or that side. You know, you'd figure it wouldn't be on that side because that's where the oil dipstick is. But like I said, I never had these off, so I really don't know what they look like on the inside here. I've had some of the flatheads and V-twins and stuff taken apart. I had all those ones, but never one of these Intech upright snow blowers. I'm going to reinstall this carburetor. Don't forget there's a spacer, and it's always easier to get this governor linkage inside that hole before you bolt down the carburetor. Also, if you tear a gasket, make sure you replace it. It's actually not a bad idea to replace it to begin with, but no, I guess I kind of forgot to order some, so if it leaks, I'm gonna have to eat it. Next, I'm gonna reinstall the valve cover gasket, and that's another gasket I should have probably replaced too, but I don't have one, so just gonna bolt it back up, and hopefully it won't leak. If not, it's really not that big of a deal. Then I'll go ahead and replace it. But it's always a good idea to replace one at the beginning. And I'm fixing this for someone, so he gets charged for the parts. So it's not like my risk. I should have just ordered it and then just gave him the bill for it. But because that wouldn't have been a big deal at all. But I guess I kind of really didn't think of that, and I just wanted to order a new head gasket because that's what we needed. So bolt it back up. It shouldn't leak, but that's one thing that you should also replace. Anything you take apart, you should put new gaskets on. And here's also the linkage configuration for the governor. So there's a spring that connects right to here, and this is your speed adjustment. Which hole, it all depends on the application. This one is set at the middle hole at the end there. That's how you adjust your RPMs. And right here is where the governor connects to, and then the arm connects to here, like that. And like I said, so far as we know, it should be counterclockwise, but if it takes off and screams, would let me know it's backwards. Because I didn't really think about which direction it would be in before I took it off. I just ripped it all apart. So now we got all the tricky stuff all configured and hooked up. Now it's just time to get the shrouds back on. So we'll make that part 2.